His lips will tickle your hand. Just tickle it just a little bit. It makes me giggle sometimes. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you don't slow down, I'm gonna bite into your head like an apple. And thanks, guys, for listening to my horse stories. I could talk about ponies all day long.
To help save women who are victims of domestic violence like Diana Gonzalez, an award-winning play hopes to promote awareness. Tonight at the Seville Theater, the Vagina Monologues opens for a 2-night benefit show. Newscene's Helen Haas has the story.
E. Vensler wrote the Vagina Monologues to highlight the injustices done to women around the globe. The show is not just educational, it's also entertaining. Rebecca Ensley is the director.
The whole point of the show is to promote activism and to make you active in your community in stopping violence against women and stopping domestic violence and ending abuse once and for all.
All proceeds from the show are given to charity. The only stipulation is that it must help stop violence against women. Last year, the money was deposited into a college fund for Diana Gonzalez's daughter, Crystal. But now there's a change.
And this year, we're going to give half of that money to her college fund, and the other half is going to go to Diana's family, her parents, who are trying to gain custody of Crystal. And it's really important because they have a lot of lawyer fees that they need to pay in order to gain custody.
The show gives audiences a chance to reach out and directly help Diana Gonzalez's family to move forward. It's a way to make a difference because by breaking the cycle of violence, there is always the chance to begin again.
The vagina makes you a woman and ultimately it gives life.
Helen Haas, Newscene.
The Vagina Monologues run tonight and tomorrow. Tickets can be purchased at brownpapertickets.com.
Marine deaths. 6 Marines from Camp Pendleton and 1 from an Arizona base were killed when 2 helicopters collided this week in Yuma. Military members aboard the Cobra and Huey were training for deployment to Afghanistan. All were killed in a mid-air crash during a nighttime training exercise. Many lives have been claimed over the last several years in accidents involving the same type of aircraft.
Protests in Afghanistan turned deadly today as fallouts continue. At least 8 people were killed and 27 wounded during the protests outside the U.S. consulate. 2 U.S. NATO troops were also killed earlier this week. Officials say they were killed by a man in an Afghan National Army uniform. The violence is allegedly revenge against Western troops who burned Qurans belonging to Taliban prisoners. Yesterday, President Barack Obama wrote a letter to President Karzai apologizing for the unintentional event.
A multinational coalition is seeking a ceasefire in Syria today. 70 countries make up the Friends of Syria and include the U.S., Turkey, and European and Arab nations. They want the Syrian government to allow international aid groups access to besieged areas of the country. More than 7,000 have died in the fighting there since last March. Most of them were civilians.
Gas prices continue to rise, the highest point this year. After a 1.6-cent increase, a gallon of gas in San Diego County is nearly $4.08. The average price of gas is now 20 cents more than last week. On Monday, prices went up, adding to the spike over the past month. Analysts believe that the closure of some California refineries and crude oil costs could be the reason for the rise.
GOP hopefuls Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum are neck and neck in the race for the Republican presidential nomination. All 4 candidates squared off in a fiery debate Wednesday night in Arizona. Santorum and Romney took shots at each other on the issue of health care reform. Gingrich focused his attack on President Obama when abortion was brought up. Ron Paul chimed in during the debate over immigration.
It would be a difficult task for someone who had the model for Obamacare, which is the biggest issue in this race of government control of your lives, to be the nominee of our party. You would take that issue completely off.
If we had said no to Arlen Specter, we would not have Obamacare. So don't look at me. Take a look in the mirror.
It is President Obama who, as a state senator, voted to protect doctors who killed babies who survived the abortion. It is not the Republicans.
Why isn't, if an illegal comes across the border and they go on private property, why isn't that trespassing?
Voters in Michigan and Arizona head to the polls next week.
San Diego Mayor Jerry Sanders announced a city budget surplus Thursday. For the fiscal year ending June 2012, the city's budget surplus is projected to be around $16.5 million. As a result, libraries and recreation centers will now have longer hours of operation. And $8 million from the budget surplus will be set aside to cover possible deficit in the 2012 budget.
The number of San Diegans receiving county-funded treatment for heroin has increased by 57%, and users between the ages of 18 and 25 have risen by 229%. The San Diego County Health and Human Services Agency says many heroin users are switching from OxyContin because of the drop in price. Treatment is available for anyone who needs it. For help, call 888-724-7240.
A Mexican prison riot that was created to cover a jailbreak has left evidence of a corrupt system. Last Sunday, 44 inmates were killed while 30 prisoners related to the Zetas gang escaped from the Apodaca jail. The prison director and 28 agents are accused of being involved in this incident.
There are new developments tonight in the shipwreck off the coast of Italy. 8 more bodies have been found on one of the passenger decks. The death toll now stands at 32. Investigators reportedly found traces of cocaine in Captain Francesco Schettino's hair. He is facing manslaughter charges for abandoning ship. 4 ship officers and 3 Italian cruise officials are also under investigation. 11 people are still missing.
One of the world's most famous astronauts reaches a 50-year milestone this week.
And Mardi Gras hits the streets of the gas lamp. We jump into the mix of one crazy party night.